Welcome back to the channel, fellow collectors and curious minds. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most common coins in your pocket, or is it? The 1974 Liberty dime, also known as the 1974 Roosevelt dime, may seem ordinary at first glance, but you'll be surprised by the hidden value, rare mint errors, and fascinating history behind this small silver-colored coin. Could it be worth just 10 cents? Or up to thousands of dollars? Stay tuned till the end to find out how one version of this coin shocked collectors with its value. Section 1. History of the Roosevelt dime. To understand the 1974 Liberty dime, we have to go back to the beginning, the origins of the Roosevelt dime series, which started in 1946. After the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1945, there was a national call to honor the man who led America through the Great Depression and World War II. Roosevelt was also a major advocate for fighting polio, leading to the formation of the March of Dimes, a campaign that helped fund research and vaccines. That connection made the dime, or 10-cent piece, the perfect denomination to bear his likeness. So in 1946, the Roosevelt dime officially replaced the winged Liberty head dime commonly known as the Mercury dime. Section 2. 1974 Dime Composition and Design. The 1974 Roosevelt dime, often called the 1974 Liberty dime due to the word Liberty prominently displayed on the obverse, was struck at 3 U.S. mints: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. Features a left-facing profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek. Inscribed, Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, the year 1974, and the designer's initials JS. Shows a torch symbolizing liberty flanked by an olive branch piece and an oak branch strength. Inscriptions: United States of America e pluribus unum, and 1 dime. Outer layer: 75% copper, 25% nickel. Core: pure copper. Total weight: 2.27 grams. Diameter: 17.91 millimeters. Edge: reeded 118 reeds. Section 3. Mintages and locations. In 1974, the U.S. Mint produced an enormous number of Roosevelt dimes. Here's the breakdown by mint location. Philadelphia No Mint Mark 571 million coins. Denver D 480 million coins. San Francisco S proof only 2.6 million proof coins. That brings the total to over 1 billion dimes minted in 1974 alone. Section 4. Common versus rare. What makes the 1974 dime valuable? With such a high mintage, most 1974 dimes are only worth their face value 10 cents, especially if they're worn from circulation. But as with any coin, condition, mint errors, and proof status can make all the difference. Section 5. Valuable 1974 dimes and rare errors. Let's talk about the valuable versions of the 1974 Liberty dime. Here's where things get exciting. 1. Proof coins. San Francisco S Mint. Proof coins are specially struck for collectors with mirror-like surfaces and sharper details. Value: a 1974 S-proof dime in PR69 deep cameo condition can be worth $10 to $50. Perfect PR70 coins may reach over $100 plus. 2. Mint errors. Errors are where the money is. Here are some known or sought-after types. Double die obverse DDO. A doubling of the date, Liberty or IN God We Trust. Extremely rare and desirable. Value: if authenticated, such a coin could fetch $1,000 to $3,000 plus, depending on condition. Off-center strikes. Part of the design is missing, shifted off-center. Value increases with how far off-center it is and if the date is visible. Value: $50 to $500 plus. Clipped planchets. A portion of the coin's edge is missing due to an error in cutting the blank planchet. Value: $30 to $150 depending on size and visibility. Wrong planchet errors. Rare instances where a dime was accidentally struck on a penny-cent planchet. These are incredibly rare and can fetch $5,000 to $10,000 plus at auction if verified. Always get error coins certified by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC for maximum value. Section 6. 1974 dime worth $22.6 million. Let's break the myth. You may have heard rumors online or on social media about a 1974 dime being worth $22.6 million, but is it true? While number 1974 Roosevelt dime has ever sold for that astronomical price, it's important to understand where such rumors come from. Often, clickbait titles or misidentified rare coins can spark hype. The most expensive dimes ever sold are typically 1796 draped bust dimes or proof barber dimes, not Roosevelt dimes. However, a rare 1975 No.S. Roosevelt dime did sell for over $400,000, proving that unexpected rarities can exist in modern coins. So, who knows what might surface? Section 7. How to check your 1974 dimes. Wondering if your 1974 dime is worth more than 10 cents? Here's what to do. 1. Check the mint mark. No mark equals Philadelphia. D equals Denver. S equals San Francisco proof. 2. Inspect for errors. Use a 10x magnifying glass. Look closely at the date, Liberty, and motto for doubling or misprints. 3. Examine the condition. Coins with no scratches, luster, or wear are worth more. Get it graded by PCGS NGC or NX. 4. Consult a dealer or online auction. eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections are good starting points. Look for completed sales, not just listings. Section 8. Current market value. Here's a breakdown of how much your 1974 Liberty dime could be worth today, depending on variety and condition. Type, condition, estimated value. Circulated all mints, average, 10 cents face value. Uncirculated MS60, MS65, no errors, $1 to $5. MS66 plus, high grade, $10 to $30. Proof 1974S, PR69 DCM, $10 to $50. Double die error, XF, MS grades, $500 to $3,000 plus. Off-center or clipped, XF, MS, $50 to $500. Struck on wrong planchet, certified, $5,000 to $10,000 plus. Rumored $22.6 million coin, myth, cross mark no evidence found. So there you have it, the full story of the 1974 Liberty dime. While most are worth just a dime, there are rare exceptions that can bring in serious cash. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned collector, keep an eye on those pocket change finds. You might just stumble on a fortune. Have you ever found a rare dime in your change? Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, share with a fellow collector. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting, and may your change be full of treasure. My Dear's Coin Chronicles, the channel where history meets hidden treasure. Now we're diving deep into the story behind a small but mighty coin, the 1987 Liberty dime. It might look ordinary, but this coin carries a fascinating past and, in some rare cases, can be worth far more than just 10 cents. So, if you have one in your pocket, you might want to stick around. We'll explore its history, design, mintage, errors, and why some of these coins have sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon, so you never miss a video about rare coins that could be hiding in plain sight. Segment 1. Basic overview of the 1987 Liberty dime. Let's start with the basics. The 1987 Liberty dime is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has been in continuous production since 1946. It's called the Liberty dime because the word Liberty is boldly inscribed on the obverse, as is customary with most U.S. coins. Quick facts. Denomination: 1 dime 10 cents. Year: 1987. Mint mark: P4 Philadelphia. Obverse design: portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Reverse design: torch flanked by olive and oak branches. Designer: John R. Cynic. Composition: 91.67% copper, 8.33% nickel-clad composition. Diameter, 17.91 millimeters. Weight, 2.27 grams. Edge reeded. Segment 2. The history behind the Roosevelt dime. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946, just a year after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was not only the 32nd President of the United States, but also an advocate for polio research. In fact, he helped found the March of Dimes, an organization that originally fought polio and now supports maternal and infant health. To honor Roosevelt's legacy, the U.S. Mint replaced the Mercury dime with the Roosevelt dime, sculpted by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the Mint at the time. His initials JS can be found just below Roosevelt's neck. Segment 3. Mintage and circulation. The 1987 P dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced a whopping 754,235,000 of these coins. That's right, over 754 million. So naturally, most of these coins are not rare in circulated condition. However, things get interesting when we start talking about error coins, high-grade uncirculated specimens, and full band strikes. We'll get into that in just a moment. Segment 4. How to identify the 1987 P Liberty dime. To identify the 1987 P dime, you'll want to look on the obverse, the front of the coin. Just to the right of Roosevelt's neck and above the date, you'll see the letter P, which stands for the Philadelphia Mint. The word Liberty is inscribed in large letters along the top left rim, while "In God We Trust" appears below Roosevelt's chin. The designer's initials JS sit neatly at the base of the neckline. On the reverse, you'll see a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength and independence. Segment 5. Valuable varieties and errors. While most 1987 P dimes are common, collectors always seek out high-grade coins and error varieties. Some of the most valuable versions of this coin include: 1. Full bands FB strike. When a Roosevelt dime is well struck, the horizontal lines on the torch's bands will appear clearly and distinctly. These full band strikes are rare from the Philadelphia Mint and fetch a premium. 2. Double die obverse DDO. There have been rumors of minor doubling errors on the obverse, especially around the lettering of Liberty, or "In God We Trust." These are rare and should be authenticated by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. 3. Off-center strikes. A 1987 P dime struck off-center by 5% to 10% can be worth $50 to $200 depending on the severity and grade. 4. Clipped planchet errors. A clipped planchet dime will have a curved or straight slice missing. These errors are sought after by error collectors and can be worth anywhere from $75 to $300. Segment 6. Market value. Let's talk money. What is a 1987 P Liberty dime worth today? Most 1987 P dimes in circulation are only worth their face value, 10 cents. Uncirculated / mint state MS. An MS-60 example might fetch $1 to $2. An MS-65 graded dime, meaning nearly flawless under magnification, can go for $10 to $15. A full band's MS-67 or higher could sell for $100 to $250 depending on demand. A PCGS MS-68 FB 1987 P dime once sold for over $800 at auction. Certified error coins, like an off-center strike in high grade, can exceed $1,000 in niche collector markets. The dream scenario. If you happen to find an extremely rare mint error or a pristine full band example in a forgotten coin roll, you might be holding on to a 4-figure dime. Segment 7. How to check your coin. Here's what you should do right now. 1. Pull out any 1,987 dimes you may have. 2. Look for the P mint mark. 3. Check for strong strike details, torch bands on the reverse, unusual features or doubling, any off-center printing or missing elements. Segment 8. Why collect the 1987 P Liberty dime? Even though the 1987 P dime isn't considered rare in general, it's a great coin to add to your Roosevelt dime collection, especially in high grades or with full band detail. It also represents a stable point in modern American coinage, just before the US started seeing widespread changes to coin designs and production in the 1990s and 2000s. Plus, who doesn't love the idea of finding a $1,000 dime in their change? The 1987 P Liberty dime may not seem special at first glance, but it's coins like these that remind us how important it is to keep our eyes open. History, art, and value sometimes hidden in your coin jar. Have you found a 1987 P dime in your collection? Was it a full band strike? Or maybe you spotted an error? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the hidden world of coins. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok Coin Chronicles for behind the scenes, coin roll hunts, and daily coin facts. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, every coin tells a story. My dears, have you ever looked closely at a simple coin in your pocket and wondered what it might truly be worth? What if I told you that a dime, yes, a 10-cent coin minted in 1995 could be worth much more than its face value? Welcome to the fascinating world of coin collecting, where history, rarity, and condition can turn everyday change into a treasure chest. Now, we're exploring the incredible story of the 1995 P. Roosevelt dime, a small but mighty coin struck in the historic halls of the Philadelphia Mint. From its origins to its unique features and current value in the collector's market, this video will tell you everything you need to know. So make sure you stick around till the end, because you might just have a small fortune hiding in plain sight. Chapter number 1. The Legacy of the Roosevelt Dime. The Roosevelt Dime series is one of the longest-running coin series in American history. It was first introduced in 1946, just 1 year after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. Why Roosevelt? Well, he was a national hero. Not only did he guide the country through the Great Depression and World War II, but he was also a victim of polio and a major supporter of the March of Dimes, the organization that helped fund research to fight the disease. To honor his legacy and lifelong efforts toward health and progress, the U.S. Treasury chose to place Roosevelt's portrait on the dime. Since then, the Roosevelt dime has been an everyday coin, but for collectors, some years stand out as hidden gems, and 1995 is one of them. Chapter number 2. The 1995 P. Roosevelt dime, basic details. The 1995 P. Roosevelt dime was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is identified by the small P mint mark located just to the left of the torch on the reverse of the coin. In total, more than 1.1 billion of these dimes were minted that year, making it a very common coin in circulation. But here's where it gets interesting. While the majority of these coins were intended for daily use, a small number survived in pristine, mint state condition, and those are the ones collectors are after. Why? Because coins that have never been circulated, show no signs of wear, and display a sharp, full strike can be worth 10 to 100 times more than face value, or even more, depending on demand. Chapter number 3. Design features to know. Let's take a closer look at the design. The obverse features a sharp profile of President Roosevelt, facing left. You'll notice the word Liberty to his left, In God We Trust beneath his chin, and the date 1995 just under his collar. And if you look carefully, you'll see the designer's initials, JS, standing for John R. Cynic, the original sculptor and engraver of the coin. On the reverse, you'll find a bold image of a torch in the center symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left, representing peace, and an oak branch on the right, representing strength and independence. The words United States of America arc around the top, with E pluribus unum and one dime completing the design. Chapter number 4. Market value and collector insight. So here's the big question: what is a 1995 P. Roosevelt dime worth today? The answer depends on several factors: condition, rarity, eye appeal, and whether it has any unique attributes like a full torch strike, often referred to as full bands FB. In average circulated condition, these coins are worth about 10 cents their face value. But that's just the start. In uncirculated condition MS65 and above, prices jump to $1 to $5. And if your dime is graded MS-67 or MS-68, the value can reach $25 to $50. But here's where things get spicy. If you're lucky enough to have a 1995 P. Roosevelt dime in MS-68 full bands, collectors might pay upwards of $200 to $300 or more. That's because sharp detail in the torch's bands means the coin was very well struck and has excellent eye appeal. And there's more. In extremely rare cases, a coin with proof-like surfaces or errors such as double die obverse or off-center strikes can be worth even more. Some of these error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. Chapter number 5. Real market sales and auctions. Let's look at real-world data. According to auction records and numismatic price guides, several 1995 P dimes in MS-68 full bands condition have sold for over $250. While that's not millions, it's a 500x return on a coin that most people don't even notice. And here's a fun fact. Some rare varieties and era coins that are not even discovered yet from the 1995 P mintage may still be out there, hiding in pocket change or old piggy banks. Chapter number 6. Coin hunting and tips for collectors. If you want to find a 1995 P Roosevelt dime worth real money, here are a few tips. 1. Start by looking at coins in original mint sets. These are more likely to be uncirculated. 2. Use a magnifying glass or coin loop to inspect the torch bands on the reverse. If they're fully struck, you may have a full bands coin. 3. Look for error coins. Anything off-center, double die, or with unusual markings could mean you're holding a one-of-a-kind coin. 4. Store your finds properly. Use coin holders or flips to protect them from scratches, moisture, and oxidation. Chapter number 7. The real value, more than money. Even if your 1995 P Roosevelt dime is only worth a quarter or $1, the real value lies in the history it holds. It's a tribute to a beloved president, a symbol of American resilience, and a tiny time capsule from the mid-90s. That's what makes coin collecting so fascinating. It's not just about money, it's about discovery, connection, and the joy of holding history in your hands. So the next time you find a dime in your pocket, take a second look. It might just be a 1995 P Roosevelt dime, a little coin with a big story, and maybe even a big value. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in your change. Who knows, maybe your next dime is worth $1, $100, or even more. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coin hunting! My dears coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds from all over the world. Today's journey takes us deep into the fascinating world of American coinage as we uncover the hidden story behind a small but mighty piece of metal, the 1998 P Roosevelt dime from the United States of America. It may just look like your everyday 10-cent coin. You might even have one lying around in a drawer, forgotten in your change jar, or tucked away in your wallet. But this little dime carries a lot more history, symbolism, and value than you might imagine. So buckle up, and let's travel through time, discover its secrets, and find out how this coin could be worth more than you think, even up to 22 cents or more in today's collector market. To understand the 1998 P dime, we need to rewind the clock back to 1946, the first year the Roosevelt dime was minted. This iconic series replaced the Mercury dime, and it was created to honor the legacy of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, one of the most influential leaders in American history. Roosevelt wasn't just remembered for guiding the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. He was also deeply connected to the March of Dimes campaign, a movement that raised funds to fight polio, a disease Roosevelt himself battled for much of his life. What better tribute than placing him on the very coin that symbolized the cause, the dime? Now fast forward to 1998, over half a century since the Roosevelt dime's debut. That year, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia produced millions of Roosevelt dimes. The letter P on the coin just above the year on the obverse stands for Philadelphia Mint. The 1998 P dime features the classic Roosevelt portrait, designed by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint at the time. It's a clean, noble profile of FDR facing left, with the word Liberty inscribed to the left, and the phrase "In God We Trust" positioned just beneath his chin. The year 1998 is struck boldly below, next to the small P mint mark. The reverse side of the coin displays the famous torch, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace, and an oak branch representing strength and independence. These three symbols are a powerful message wrapped in just 10 cents. In 1998, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.2 billion Roosevelt dimes. That's right, this coin is far from rare in circulation. So, you might be wondering, why are we talking about it? Well, while the 1998 P dime may seem common, collectors know that not all dimes are created equal. The conditions strike quality, and special attributes of a coin can transform an everyday pocket change coin into a mini treasure. Let's talk value. In circulated condition, most 1998 P Roosevelt dimes are still worth around face value 10 cents. But here's where it gets exciting. If you happen to find a 1998 P dime in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS65 or higher by grading services like PCGS or NGC, it could be worth anywhere from 22 cents to $2 depending on the quality and market interest. And if that coin has full bands, a term that refers to the complete, distinct horizontal lines on the torch on the reverse side, its value jumps even more. Full bands dimes are popular among collectors because they prove the coin was struck exceptionally well, showing crisp, detailed craftsmanship. Some top-grade full bands 1998 P dimes have sold for $10, $25, and even higher in collector auctions, especially when the coin exhibits no blemishes, scratches, or toning. The grading scale is key here. Most coins fall between MS60 and MS66, but if you find a coin graded MS67 or MS68, you're talking about serious collector territory. At those levels, even a common coin like the 1998 P dime becomes very desirable. We're talking about coins that have never been touched by human hands, that show brilliant luster, and have razor-sharp details. It's these exceptional specimens that spark bidding wars and fetch real money. So how do you know if your 1998 P dime is valuable? Here's what to look for. Sharp, well-struck details, especially on the torch's bands. No scratches, nicks, or discoloration. Strong, original mint luster. And of course, the full bands designation. If your coin checks those boxes, it might be worth getting it graded. You might be surprised to learn that even today, in 2025, these coins are actively traded among collectors. On online platforms like eBay, uncirculated 1998 P dimes are selling for $1 to $5, and those with full bands and certified grades are climbing to $10, $15, or more depending on condition. And while that might not seem like much, consider this: it's 100 times the face value of the coin. To summarize, here's the value breakdown of the 1998 P Roosevelt dime. Circulated condition typically worth 10 cents. MS60 to MS64 worth around 22 cents to $1. MS65 to MS67 can reach $2 to $5. MS67 Plus with full bands can fetch $10 to $25 or more. Proof like or error dimes in rare cases, these can fetch higher values from specialist collectors. So the next time you receive change, don't overlook that humble little dime. It might be a 1998 P Roosevelt dime, carrying not just 10 cents of value, but a rich history, an iconic design, and if you're lucky, the potential to be worth far more. Coins like these are small windows into America's past, and collecting them is like building your own treasure chest, one coin at a time. Thanks for watching, friends. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1998 P Roosevelt dime, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more coin collecting adventures, and leave a comment telling us your favorite coin in your collection. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and always remember, the next big treasure could be in your pocket change. My dears coin collectors, treasure hunters, and history lovers. Now we're diving deep into the story of a coin that may look small, but packs a huge punch in terms of history, symbolism, and collector interest. That's right, we're talking about the 2000 Liberty dime from the United States of America. Now you might be thinking, it's just a dime, right? 10 cents. No big deal. But oh no, my friend, this isn't just any dime. The 2000 Roosevelt dime is a tiny slice of American history, a coin that millions of people see and spend every day without realizing its true significance. And today, we're going to uncover what makes it special, how it came to be, what to look for, and why some versions of this coin can be worth far more than just 10 cents, even fetching up to 20 times its face value. So grab your coin jars, sit back, and let's get started. Section 1. The origin, the Roosevelt dime series. To truly appreciate the 2000 dime, we first need to understand the bigger picture, the Roosevelt dime series. This coin was introduced in 1946, just 1 year after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. FDR wasn't just a wartime leader and a 4-term president. He was also a champion for those struggling with polio, a disease that he personally battled. His connection with the March of Dimes campaign made the dime the perfect denomination to carry his legacy. So in 1946, the Roosevelt dime replaced the Mercury dime. Designed by John R. Sinek, the new dime featured Roosevelt's profile on the obverse or the front, and on the reverse, a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. That same design, with minor adjustments, has remained on the dime ever since. Section 2. The year 2008 turn of the century coin. Now let's fast forward to the year 2000, the time of digital revolutions, Y2K fears, and the dawn of the new millennium. While the world was looking forward to the future, the US Mint was busy doing what it does best, making money, literally. That year, the Denver Mint produced the 2000 Roosevelt dime, the D standing for Denver. Over 1.2 billion of these dimes were struck, which makes it a common coin in circulation. But don't be fooled by those numbers, because in the world of coin collecting, condition, rarity, and errors can turn an ordinary dime into a miniature gold mine. Section 3. Design details. A closer look at the 2000 dime. Let's take a closer look at this coin. On the obverse side, we have Roosevelt facing left, with the word Liberty boldly stamped along the rim. Just beneath his chin, you'll see the iconic motto, "I in God we trust," and to the right, the date, 2000. Just above the date is the D mint mark, signifying that it was minted in Denver, Colorado. Flip it over, and the reverse shows the torch in the center, with an olive branch to the left and an oak branch to the right. The words United States of America curve along the top edge, and at the bottom is the coin's denomination, 1 dime, right in the middle, e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. That's not just decoration, it's American symbolism at its finest, minted into every single dime. Section 4. Error coins and hidden treasures. Here's where things get exciting. While most 2000 dimes are worth just face value, some rare versions have errors or are in exceptionally pristine condition, making them far more valuable. Here are some things collectors look for. Off-center strikes where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't centered properly during minting. Double die obverse or reverse where letters or numbers appear to be duplicated. Clipped planchets, coins that were cut incorrectly, leaving a crescent missing. Full bands FB on the reverse. If the torch bands are fully visible and unbroken, it indicates a strong strike and raises the coin's value. If you have a 2000 Roosevelt dime with full bands, and it's in mint state 65 or higher, it could be worth $2 to $20 or more, depending on the market. Section 5. Current market value. How much is it really worth? As of now, a regular circulated 2000 Roosevelt dime is worth about 10 cents its face value. But uncirculated examples, especially those graded by third-party services like PCGS or NGC, can be worth 20 cents to $5 or even $15 to $30 if they're in exceptionally high grade. According to current collector demand, MS63 to MS65 graded coins might sell for 25 cents to $2. MS67 with full bands can reach up to $20. A coin graded MS68 or higher, especially with clean surfaces, sharp details, and no contact marks, could fetch $30 or more at auction. That's 200 times its face value. Not bad for a coin you might have in your pocket right now. Section 6. Why collect dime coins like this? The 2000 Liberty dime is more than just small change. It's a piece of history, art, and economic storytelling all rolled into a 17.9mm circle. Whether you're a serious collector or just a curious explorer, this coin is a great entry point into the world of numismatics. It tells a story of American leadership, strength, and endurance, and even today, it reminds us how even the smallest things can carry the greatest significance. Section 7. Shot of the dime in a velvet case, fade to text, value in your pocket. So, the next time you receive change, take a moment to check your dimes. You might just find a 2000 Roosevelt dime, and if you're lucky, it could be worth more than you think. And if you're holding on to one in mint condition, congratulations, you've got a tiny treasure worth collecting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2000 Liberty dime, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more rare coin explorations, and leave a comment below telling us what treasures you've found in your pocket change. Thanks for watching and happy collecting! My dears coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, now our video's last dime is 2060. We're diving deep into the fascinating world of US coinage to explore a tiny coin with a big story, the 2060 Roosevelt dime, also known to many as the 2060 Liberty dime. Though it's often overlooked as just another coin in your pocket change, this little dime carries decades of American history, a legacy of a great leader, and in certain conditions, it can be worth far more than its face value. So buckle up as we uncover the secrets, the value, and the historical significance of the 2060 Roosevelt dime, a modern coin with hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. To understand the story of the 2060 dime, we first need to rewind the clock. The dime, as we know it today, bears the image of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of the most iconic and influential figures in American history. After his passing in 1945, the United States honored him the very next year by placing his portrait on the 10-cent coin. The decision wasn't random. Roosevelt had a deep personal connection with the March of Dimes, a campaign dedicated to fighting polio, a disease he personally battled for much of his life. The design of the Roosevelt dime was created by John R. Sinek, chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. The obverse features Roosevelt's left-facing profile, a strong yet compassionate leader, etched into American currency forever. The reverse of the dime is a beautiful trio of symbols: a torch, representing liberty, flanked by an olive branch for peace and an oak branch for strength. Now let's jump ahead to the year 2006, a modern yet pivotal time in U.S. coin production. The Denver Mint, one of the major coin-producing facilities in the United States, minted over 1.2 billion of these 2060 dimes. That's right, billion with a B. So, with so many coins in circulation, you might be wondering, what makes this coin special? What makes it valuable? While the 2060 dime is indeed a common coin when it comes to sheer numbers, value in numismatics isn't just about rarity. It's about condition, demand errors, strike quality, and collector interest. Most circulated 2060 dimes are worth just 10 cents, their face value. But in uncirculated condition coins that have never been touched or used in daily commerce, their value can start to rise. Coins that are graded highly by professional grading services such as PCGS or NGC, especially those graded MS66, MS67, or even MS68, can be worth much more than face value. On average, a brilliant uncirculated 2060 dime can sell for around 17 cents to a few dollars, depending on its quality. That might not seem like a fortune, but the real money lies in coins that exhibit exceptional strike characteristics, especially those known as full torch or full bands dimes. What are full bands? Great question. The reverse of the Roosevelt dime features a torch, and the horizontal lines, or bands, around the torch are often weakly struck. But when those lines are crisp, clean, and fully separated, the coin can earn a full bands designation. Collectors love these high-quality strikes, and they pay a premium for them. A 2060 Roosevelt dime with full bands in MS68 condition can sometimes fetch well over $100, and in some rare auction results, they've gone even higher. Now let's talk about errors, the wild cards in the world of coin collecting. While there are no widely recognized major errors for the 2060 dime, error coins do exist. Off-center strikes, die clashes, missing clad layers, and double dies have all been reported in other years and mints. If you were to find a 2060 dime with a significant error like these, you could be looking at a coin worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So how do you know if your 2060 dime is special? The first step is to examine it closely. Look at the condition. Are there any scratches? Is the surface shiny and flawless? Next, look at the torch bands on the reverse. Are they clean and full? Lastly, check for any oddities, unusual markings, off-center designs, doubling, or strange coloration. If you think you've got something special, it may be worth submitting it to a grading service. Now, let's break down the current market value in 2025 for the 2060 Roosevelt dime. Circulated condition, 10 to 17 cents. Uncirculated MS65, around 30 to 50 cents. MS67, $2 to $10. MS68 full bands, $50 to $200 or more depending on auction and buyer interest. Error coins, $50 to over $1,000 depending on the error. As you can see, while most 2060 dimes won't make you a millionaire, they absolutely can be worth money, especially if you know what to look for. And here's the kicker: many of these high-grade coins are still out there in circulation, just waiting to be discovered in a pocket, a drawer, or a jar of old change. Every time you get a dime back as change, you're holding a piece of history and maybe even a tiny treasure. So the next time you're tempted to toss a dime into a tip jar or forget it on the counter, take a second look. You might be holding onto a tiny masterpiece with the story of a president, a movement, and a minting legacy, all for just 10 cents. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep dives into valuable coins and hidden treasures in your change, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bells so you don't miss a single episode. And if you have a 2060 dime you think might be valuable, tell us about it in the comments. We love hearing your coin stories. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next coin be a rare one.